Actually, this strategy is parked under different department called PMO, Performance Management Office, at the Group Strategic Planning, established I think 4 to 5 years ago lah. So at the initial stage, this SIRIM Force Strategic Trust, or what we call Greener SIRIM, is proposed for SIRIM to reduce its environmental carbon footprints and participate in sustainable Malaysia initiatives. So for instance, SIRIM will reduce environmental impact, create new solutions and improve images. And then to improve green initiative in SIRIM and develop technologies and solutions to encourage environmental sustainability and create long-term value by taking into consideration ecological, social and economic environment factors. So in a bigger picture, I can say that we want to align to this SIRIM initiative with national agenda goal of a greener Malaysia. For instance, increase overall organizational eco-sustainability plus support diffusion of green technologies. Okay, little bit difference. I think since the past last year, we little bit change our direction. The true north will be directed to sustainable business environment. One thing we can say that is the first one, the main one is for saving energy lah. 10 to 20% lah. We target. We pay a lot, about 600,000 a month.
For covered car park?
No, for the whole complex electricity. So we would like to reduce to 10% using this system. The other one, it will become a shading area lah for our car park. And then the other thing is will become the rainwater collector lah.
Okay.
So later on we will use this water for planting water. This is something like internal project for SIRIM lah. So we try to convert rainwater to harvest the rainwater and then make it useful to our activities, daily activities lah, to make use of this water. Yeah, we anticipate that, as I mentioned just now, and some saving in the electricity utilization, water consumption, and then we would like to have efficient air condition system, especially because this is the highest load. And then greening greenish punya environment lah, and plantation around you and so on. We were given directive lah, because the bill, utility bill quite high. Touching 600,000 for the whole complex lah. So saving 5%, 10% means a lot to us. Now we just award the program. We will start with block 25, block 17, and block 5 a little bit late because some relocations happen over there. And later on, we are collaborating with SEDA, because rain harvesting system we just started last December, still under monitoring system lah. The figure that I gave for the solar PV system ni since May last year lah. Yeah. We also in the midst of monitoring the consumption of solar PV system lah. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, SIRIM ni as the example for them to duplicate later lah. We become branding management later on lah. So we have to preach what we preach lah. To do what you preach. Yes. So this SIRIM will reduce its environmental carbon footprint. Participate in the Sustainable Malaysia in line with UN Sustainable Development Goals. And then World Green Building Council commitment towards achieving a net zero. So SIRIM give the example for this kind of activities. And then net zero, we're talking about cutting greenhouse gas emission to as close to zero as possible lah, with any remaining emissions reabsorbed from the atmosphere by ocean and forest, for instance.
That will be
Okay, already mentioned solar PV system BIPV dekat kita punya HQ Shah Alam and NMIM.
itu bukan sedang kan?
This year lah.
This year.
Not happen yet.
Okay, it will.
Yes. I think the action plan, specific action plan will come from sustainability later on lah.
Yeah.
We just support them from the angle lah.
So now it's doing survey dengan all the staff lah.
Yes. For your info, AMD punya role more towards supporting them in terms of what they call asset lah.
Which is the
buildings, land and so on lah. So let's say our land cannot be not utilised or on. We have to do something about that.
So that means everything that you are doing now or going to do
Yeah.
later will also be taken into account for this SIRIM organization.
Yeah. Now we do like very individual punya programs lah. Later on will merge together.
I see.
So now I think we start with something first. And later on will convert. So at the later stage, they will monitor and calculating the greenhouse. From this, they can know how much the greenhouse gas emissions, carbon emission especially, and then they will monitor it, and then they will as advisory for us to do something. For instance, later on, that dia punya plan lah. So they will do implement performance improvement projects such as listed in question number 2 tadi yang I mention tadi kan. So in the long run for national carbon reduction of 45%. This is one of their objective lah.
Tadi you said they will implement something?
Programs to reduce carbon footprint lah. I think some of it already mentioned in number 2 just now lah. Okay. I think that will be what they call somehow selari dengan apa yang dia nak implement lah. Tapi kita already implemented already.
Yang sudah implement di SIRIM.
Yes.
It's something that they may want to implement in the future.
Yes.
So that's why now they are taking your data to analyze the carbon emission.
Yeah. For time being, they are taking our electricity bill.
Only electricity.
Now at the moment lah.
Okay.
So this one quite, I think it's a 5-year program kot. So they will look into one by one lah. They have 5 main objective. One, reduce solid waste. They also look into them. And then reduce overall carbon emissions. I think I mentioned just now. Increase adoption of green lifestyle. Increase building energy efficiency. And then increase implementation and usage of green technology. This is some of it we already implemented, and then we will converge later on lah with them. But now they are focusing on the carbon emission lah. Yeah.
Okay. So that means
Not 5 years. It's until 2030. Sorry.
2030.
Yeah.
So 7 years.
Yes, 7 years. As I mentioned earlier, we already have sharing sessions. I think by quarterly, and then also mention about the objective achieving 45% national carbon reduction. Of course, later on, I believe they will do some they will impose regulations when they look into one by one, case by case. So hopefully the law will come lah. So in the sense that you have to do this, you have to do this, and so on. I think this, I think for the future of the city lah. I think they are working thoroughly in recycling material, especially on the solid waste. So they want to not to waste everything. So they will do recycle punya process lah. Even at the residential areas.
Oh, okay.
Like Japanese, they have different bins. Now MBSA have one bin but everything inside together. So definitely we should have different bins, one for organic, one for solid waste. So that I think quite easily to be implemented very soon. The thing is, ESG ni already 20 years behind from European and American countries, and we are really quite behind in this lah. So I can say no reference yet for SME lah, since ESG framework is in the start-up mode in Malaysia. I think MITI is working very hard on this. So lacking consistent standards and assurance backed by regulation. We don't have such system yet. And then cost to implement practice and adopt ESG standard and compliance. It's not free, everything have to pay. ESG reporting sounds simple in theory. Compliance is complex. Framework are many and regulation are maturing. So we have to go to that process first. So I think SME doesn't have that picture yet. Okay, in this fast changing world, pivoting business strategy to become sustainable has become a business imperative, very important now. We know that with change come challenges, but with change also comes opportunity. That could be one aspect. Solid sustainable supply chain are fundamental to a resilient business. You cannot work alone. So all the what they call supply chain should be sustainable as well, to become very solid in terms of business punya cycle chain lah. And then ESG reporting has the potential to make your organisation shine in the eyes of investors. I think investors are looking into this one. Regulators, for instance, ESG scoring agency and financing bodies. Jadi SME who doesn't have ESG later on will go behind and behind. So very important to have this ESG punya concept in their business later on. And then all the while easing the flow of your business as usual process. Selalunya business as usual. Now you have to transition your business to a low carbon enterprise. So branding of low carbon enterprise ni is necessary for you to grow further lah, for investment later on. So what I explained later on just now from the beginning, I think we need to expedite to the development of implementation of ESG framework lah, in order to achieve this sustainable development goal lah. We have I think 17 goals to achieve. Now kita a bit slow in establishing the framework, ESG framework. So hopefully I think in the budget later on, I think coming soon kan.
Yes.
So ESG will be the main important action plan lah, to be to be implemented. So hopefully SIRIM can be champion for this one lah, especially from standard punya perspective.
Okay, so you will